heavy going through the water, but Hi, this is Omar at Top 5 E-Bikes, and this is a full review on the Freedare Eden. This is a fat tire e-bike that goes really fast, throttle only, and also includes cool features like GPS tracking. Want to thank Freedare for sending us the Eden. They've also given us a $100 off coupon code, which is TOP100. So if you end up deciding to buy the Eden or one of the Freedare bikes, use the link in the description and you can use TOP100 and you'll get $100 off. If you haven't subscribed to Top 5 E-Bikes, please do so right now. Like this video. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed, who ask us questions, and who watch our videos. All right, let's talk about the specs of the Freedare Eden. So first of all, it is $15.99, but there is a $100 off coupon, so it's $14.99 if you use the Top 100 coupon that Freedare was gracious enough to give us. So it's around $1,500. It comes with the front rack, the rear rack, and everything you see here. So out of the box, it's already set up to be a commuter bike. Let's go over some of the main specs. So it comes with a Bafang, and you can't really see this here, maybe you can see it there. A Bafang 750 watt motor that peaks at 1,000 watts, and it has 80 newton meters of torque. So pretty nice sized motor. What you'd expect out of this category fat tire e-bike. The only difference here is that it's a Bafang motor, which is really nice. It comes with, since we're looking at the brakes here in the rotor, 180 millimeter rotors and Tektro hydraulic brakes, which is kind of nice. So again, pretty standard to have hydraulic brakes in this category bike, but these are a name brand in Tektro. So again, a really nice feature that comes with it. Battery wise, and you can't see this, I guess you can kind of see it here. This is a UL certified battery, which is awesome and super important these days, especially if you see all the news about e-bike fires. This is a UL certified battery. It's a 20 amp hour. It's almost 1,000 watt hours, and it comes with Samsung cells. So a couple things there to know, actually a few things. One is that it's UL certified. Second, it comes with Samsung cells, so you know what kind of cells it has. And then lastly, it's a 20 amp hour, so a really big battery. So big battery, safe battery, and then you know what kind of cells it has. So just these three major components, the brakes, the battery, and then the motor, that in itself would make this a really good buy at around $1,500. Well, let's go through some of the other features, because there are some other cool features. One is that you can't see this here, but it has a torque sensor. You kind of see a lot of e-bike companies moving from cadence sensors to torque sensors, and Freedare, that was a good choice by them to make this a torque sensor, because it's more of a natural cycling feel rather than a cadence sensor, which can be jerky. And after riding this one, this is a pretty good torque sensor, so pretty good experience riding it. It does come with the tourney, so entry level derailleur and shifting system that you see here, this thumb shifter from Tourney, or a thumb shifter from Shimano. You see a right thumb throttle, and then you can't really see it here, but let's see if we can turn this on, because let's see if we can turn on the screen. It's a really dim screen, which doesn't have too much info. You have odometer, you have speed, battery, and whatnot, but again, just a little bit too dim for me. You have a left controller, which will turn on the lights, power, info, pedal assist level, plus, minus. One other cool thing about this bike is the grips. You'll see here that they're actually screwed in, so that means that they're not going to turn on you, which is kind of annoying when that happens with bikes. You have front suspension, and you'll see here the lockout, and then you'll see the preload. So pretty typical. I don't see the name brand on this, but it looks like it's a white labeled one. You have an integrated front light. You have a rear light, which just turns on and off, but it's not integrated, which is not ideal. But again, there's a lot of other good little features on this bike. One thing that you see here, which is this, what looks like a controller, that's actually what they use for the GPS, and we'll get into that later, because I'll talk about the app and whatnot. Like I mentioned, it's almost like an out-of-commuter e-bike out of the box because you have the rear rack, which you can put panniers here. You got the front rack. You got the rear and front fenders, which are plastic. And then finally, you have Kenda 26 by 4 inch knobby fat tires. So there you go. These are the specs of the Freedare Eden. All right. Let's talk about one of the other really cool features of the Freedare Eden. And this is actually both of the e-bikes that Freedare has, but it comes with an integrated app. And there's some really cool features to this app. There are other e-bike companies that have apps, but this one has one really nice feature, which is that it has a GPS or anti-theft alert. So not only does it tell you where the bike is, but it can actually alert you when the bike has been moved. So it comes with an app, and let me show you some of it now. And I will make sure that I am screen recording this. So we'll start this. So one of the first things you have to do is you have to go into the Freedare app, and then you have to add your particular bike. I've already added mine. Right now, the bike isn't turned on, so you won't see it actually turn on, but let's turn it on. And then you'll kind of see what happens here. So now the bike you can kind of see that it's turning on. You can see the screen, and then we'll see some of the functions here as it turns on. So you have to select your bike. Now we've selected our bike. You could see that it says that the battery, I don't think it's been updated because the bike is showing that it's at 100%. Let me see this. So we can log back in. Let's see this. Then you select your bike. Okay, so now it's been updated 100%. You can see there's a few options like find my bike, lock, bike detection. This bike detection one is kind of cool. I'm assuming that what this bike, I guess you have to have Bluetooth on. I'm assuming this bike detection is just checking to see if there's any issues, or if there is, for example, some of the wiring has come undone, or it's not fully plugged in, that sort of thing. So it would tell you if there's an issue. So I've seen some other videos where the person who was reviewing it would check, like for example, let's do the motor, and it seems like it's fine because we don't have any issues with it. I haven't disconnected something to see how this works, but I'm assuming if there's something unplugged, it would tell you, or if there's something disconnected. So kind of a cool feature. The map one I haven't used too much because I end up using Strava for the most part, but I did see that there were some issues with the bike kind of disconnecting from the app. I'm not sure if that's been fixed, but for me, the coolest feature of this app is the Find My Bike. So you could see here that you can find the bike, and then there's even an alert which we can go to. Let's see. So here we go. When you go to the settings, you can go to, so if we go to settings, and then you go to click on the settings here, and you go to message notifications, this is where you can set up the different type of notifications to, say, an email or a SMS detection. So what we can do is, let's do this, and then we've renamed the bike. Okay, so now we're at 100%. We lock it. And now I'm gonna try to move it now and see if I get notifications. So I'll be back here in a sec. Okay, so now we're back. I see I have notifications. Kind of hard to tell here, but again, I'm screen. So I started getting notifications that it's been moved, which is kind of nice. The one issue I would say is that it's not like real time, because if you go to the settings, you have to wait for, I think it's every 10 minutes at a minimum. So we'll go to the notification frequency. So 10 minutes, 30. So it's running to see if there was a movement in the GPS. But nonetheless, it's kind of cool because most other bikes don't come with this default. The best you can get is some type of tracker through a phone company like Apple or Google to track exactly where your e-bike is and somewhere hide it. So it's kind of nice that it's default and you don't have to pay extra for it. The other thing that's kind of nice is, and I checked this out, you could see exactly where your bike is, and it's actually pretty accurate because I moved it here. I'm in my garage, but I moved it out to the street, and it's very accurate actually where it is, and it's even integrated. So if you click on it, you can go to, it'll redirect you to Google Maps. So if you go to the directions, it'll send you to Google Maps, which is kind of nice. But yeah, so cool features with the app. I'm not going to go over all the features because to me, this GPS one is kind of the coolest one to know exactly where your bike is. There are some issues with it, like for example, that you can't actually lock it. And I wish there was more frequency with the notifications, or if you could trigger it as long as there's movement. But, you know, that's not the case. But that's okay. It's still better than most e-bikes that are out there. And I really like that about this app. It's really windy, so it's hard to speak and ride, but it's been a fun e-bike to ride. So one of the things I really like about it is the throttle only speed. So normally most bikes, a class, so normally most e-bikes that have a throttle will max out at 20 miles per hour. This one actually maxes out at 28. Can't really see the screen, which is one of the issues, is the dim screen, but maybe I'll narrate here. So 15 miles, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. A good stopping. Another thing I wanted to show you was that it's kind of slow to take off, so it's not quick. It's fast once you get going, but it takes a long time to get going. So I'm gonna just stop right now. I'm gonna go throttle only. You'll see there, it's just kind of slow. It like builds up. I also really like these, the handlebars. So they're not as wide, and it just makes it, I guess, a little bit more upright because it's not as wide of a handlebar. But I like them. I like these handlebars of this width rather than the ones that are a little bit flatter. So I like these curved ones, and then it just makes it easier for me to adjust also to my riding style. And again, it's more upright, but I like it. Okay, so let's go throttle only. So I got a red light there, but I got up to 26 miles per hour. Might be because it's windy, but I was hitting about 26, almost 27. It's really windy right now, so it's probably wind that's preventing us from hitting 28. But I've been hitting 28 throttle only, so I think it's really fast, especially throttle only. Pedal assist, if you're on pedal assist, let's see. It's pedal assist level 3. Yeah, pedal assist level 3 was also the same, so it was around 26, 27. It's almost like there's for sure a governor on this. It's preventing it from going over 28 miles per hour. So it's not a bad thing. There's a lot of bikes out there that you can change the settings and go over 30 miles per hour. This is not one of them, but you also would get more range out of your battery. You get a big battery. It's more efficient use just because the output on the motor isn't as high. All right, now that we've gone over the specs, we've given you a little ride footage with some commentary. Let me share the things that I liked and I didn't like about the Freedare Eden. So the first thing that I really liked about this bike was that it goes really fast. So it's not quick. So it's not quick out of the gate. It takes a little bit to get going, but throttle only gets up to 28 miles per hour. So that's actually one of the fastest throttle only speeds I've gone to in a bike that I've tested. I know that you could always change the settings and increase the speed, but at least default, this is the fastest bike that I've ridden speed-wise. The second thing I really liked about this e-bike was that it has quality components. So it has a Bafang 750 watt motor with 1,000 watt peak. So that in itself is a really cool feature, that you have a top of the line, a named motor. So a lot of times you have motors that you don't even know who's making them. You have Tektro hydraulic brakes, and then you have a battery that's UL certified, which is also in itself a thing to like. And it has Samsung cells, and it's 20 amp hours. So quality components kind of throughout. There are some things where they probably should have spent a little bit more, but I think in just having that set of the battery, a UL certified battery with its size and the cells, a Bafang motor, and the Tektro hydraulic brakes, that in itself is a pretty good set of components. The next thing I really liked was that it's just a quality build. Actually, right before I started filming this, someone came over and said that this was a really nice looking bike and that it looked like it was a good build. And I agree. When I unboxed this, I remember thinking that, hey, it was just like a nice looking bike. They did a really good job. It's a solid looking bike. It's very buttoned up in the look of it, and wire management, the weld jobs, and just the look of it. So I think they did a really good job with this bike as far as it being a quality build. And then the last thing I really liked about this bike, which is I think a really cool feature, one that we've tested and reviewed bikes that have an app or have some type of functionality related to an app. I think that the Freedare's app is probably one of the better ones because it includes the GPS tracking. So there have been other reviews out there that have talked about some of the issues with the app, and there are some issues with the app, but the fact that it has a GPS tracking and then you can find your bike right away within an app is pretty cool feature. So, and the fact that it comes out of the box, so you don't have to pay extra, you don't have to do anything, and then you have access to that. All right, let me talk about the things that I didn't like about the Freedare Eden. The first thing is that the screen is really dim. So I normally wear sunglasses when I'm riding, and I can't actually see the screen. So in order to see the speed or how much battery is left, I typically have to take off my glasses and then take a peek. So yeah, I mean it's bright enough when you don't have sunglasses on, but if you have something like polarized glasses, you're not going to be able to see the screen. The second thing I didn't like is that it has some subpar, kind of like really cheap low-end components. Like for example, you have, instead of a rear integrated light, all you have is a reflector. So I think if you're going to pay $1,500, you would probably, most e-bikes are going to have integrated front lights and rear lights. And in fact, a lot of e-bikes in this category end up having blinkers and some other features with the rear lights. So the fact that this one just has a reflector is definitely a negative. Although I would say the fact that you have this group set of the Bafang motor, Tektro hydraulic brakes, and the Samsung UL certified battery actually are saving grace, but nonetheless something to point out. It's also not that comfortable. The saddle is not that comfortable. That's an easy fix because you could always get a suspension seat post, a saddle that's a little bit more comfortable, but this saddle is not that comfortable. I mean, I've ridden this about 30 plus miles and it's not the most comfortable saddle. So there you go. This is a Freedare Eden. It's been a pretty fun fat tire e-bike to ride. Really enjoyed how fast it goes. Throttle only because it goes up to 20 miles per hour. So that's been pretty cool. Also enjoyed just the look of this bike. So it's just kind of a really cool looking bike. I've had saddlebags, I've used the front rack. So it's just a cool fat tire e-bike that's almost like a commuter bike because it's out of the box, it's ready to be a commuter. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please add your questions or comments to the video. And again, thank you for watching.